Thank you. So, how you guys doing this morning? I have a question for you guys. Have you ever just lived with someone you're just desperately in love with, and you're just in such a constant state of fear that you're not good enough to be the one and only, that it just makes it difficult to get through the day? Well, I have. That's how I feel about my cat, Margot. Well, she wasn't exactly my first choice, but I'm stuck with her now. I mean, it's my fault, really. I should have known from the day I got her that she'd be a handful. The day that I got her from the shelter, they had a really amazing deal going on, you see. 25% off orange cats, 50% off black and orange cats. Now for those special deals that didn't apply. A paper football game. Because you always knew that tomfoolery in 4th grade would pay off someday. You just never thought it would come in the form of adopting a cat. But has anyone ever adopted a North Philly cat? Well, let me tell you, they're just an entirely different breed of sass. I mean, they still do that annoying thing where they paw at the door and just stare at you expecting some form of persuasion as to why they should come in. Like, they didn't paw the door. I mean, you did it. You pawed at the door. It was your idea, so just come in. But she just does this thing that surpasses all my expectations. She just comes in like she owns the place. And, she just watches and waits for you to close the door, and then just slides in at the last second so it slams body like a jelly donut. And then makes me feel like the dick for her stupidity. I mean, when someone opens the door for you, you don't just stare at them. And when you see someone about to slam a door, you don't jam your head in the way. That's just stupid. But she's always had a way with treachery, and the day I brought her home was no exception to that. So I adopted her from the ASPCA in North Philly, and thought a car's kind of a ridiculous distance. I knew it would take a good hour and a half to get home if I rode the subway and walked, which is not ideal by any means. But this day had the potential to be especially unfortunate, so I decided to bring in friends. So anyway, I picked her up after she got off facing the shit, and a thought came to me: how disgusting it must be to be the pet surgeon responsible for what? 15 fixes a day at least, maybe? Just all day, cutting, ripping, stitching, done. Shit's gross. So anyway, as this thought was fading, we left the shelter, and it was starting to get dark, and we could all barely remember the way to get back to our subway stop, so we all just decided to follow our instincts, and our instincts in this case being the only white guy in sight, and found our way to the subway. So after walking about 20 minutes to the subway stop and waiting for another 20 minutes, a thought occurred to me. This cat's gonna have to go to the bathroom sometime. But I mean, the ride home was great. There was not only a couple cooing over how cute she was, and there must have been a ball game that night because by Spring Garden stop, the train was packed with Phillies fans. And then, as if she was just waiting for the train to fill up, Margot, the Duchess of Doo-Doo herself, defecated all over. Now, I mean, it was the stankiest doo-doo I've ever smelled from any beast, and I wasn't the only one to notice. The only thing that would have been more embarrassing is if I shat myself, but that's disgusting. No one should do that. My biggest commentary would definitely be on how horrible the Phillies fans are. Because they were all casting glares at me like I was such a bad person for having this animal that stunk. But really, they have a team that stinks. So, shouldn't I judge them? Basically, the moral of the story is, there are worse things than being stuck on a train with a poo-stained cat. Could be a Phillies fan. Beautiful, isn't she?